So are you able to see my screen? Okay, fine. So we will start with basics of WebSphere. WebSphere application server product. Okay. So in this product we have different releases. Okay. So releases means the package wise releases is available, and the first one is WebSphere application server base. So the first release is WebSphere application server base. So in this base the versions are 4 and 5. So these two versions are released in the base package. Okay. So the advantage of the versions and 4 and 5 is this is single server architecture. Okay, that means only one server is available, only a server available. Okay, and this is limited to one CPU. One CPU means we can install only one mission. So the same product we cannot install in the second mission, second server, second laptop or desktop, and the version having no license. Okay, single server architecture, that means only one server, only one application server available, and this is limited to one CPU and no license. Okay, and the next release is the second release is Express edition. Okay, so in this we have again the versions like 4 and 5. Okay, so this is also a single server architecture. Single server. Okay, that means only a server available, and this is limited to 2 CPUs and with license. Okay, and the next release is network deployment server ND. ND means network deployment. Okay, so the versions are 6, 6.1, 7 and 8, 8.5. Okay, and this ND is it is multi-server architecture for multiple purposes. No limits on CPU with license. Provides single point administration or centralized administration for all servers. High availability, load balance, failover, through cluster. Security through SSL. Multi-user and multi-application deployable. Okay, so these are all the releases till now. Okay, the product releases started from the version 4 and 5 at that time. That is base version. The product name is base. WebSphere application server base. The versions are 4 and 5. Okay, and this base version contains single server. That means only one server available. Okay, so and this is applicable to one CPU. We cannot install another mission. Only one CPU we can install, and there is no license for this versions base. And the second release is WebSphere application servers express edition. So the releases are 4 and 5, and this is also a single server architecture. That means only one application server available, and this is limited to 2 CPUs with license. Okay, and coming to third release is WebSphere application server ND. ND means network deployment. So the versions are 6, 6.1, 7, 8 and 8.5. So our current version is 8.5 we are going to learn. So this is network deployment architecture. So in this we have multi-server architecture and multiple servers for multiple purposes. Okay, and there is no limit of CPU. We can install number of CPUs and with license. Okay, and provides single point administration or centralized administration for all servers. And the next one is high availability. High availability means suppose in this single point architecture, single server architecture, we have drawbacks. Okay, for example, I have one critical business application like some online store like Amazon.com. So Amazon.com is online store for the worldwide. So that is very critical business application. Okay, so for 1 minute, many millions of clients accessing that application through internet. So at the time the request comes to the application server. So because that application is deployed in the single application server, so all the clients are accessing the same application. So at the time the requests are coming to the same server. So but the server cannot handle all the requests because server is single, so it can handle, suppose it can handle 1,000 requests. So but we are getting 1 lakh requests for 1 minute. So at the time the server cannot handle all the requests. So server may goes down, server may hang, it will not respond properly. So at the time business loss. So to overcome this problem, here ND is introduced, network deployment is introduced, and this is it contains multiple servers. So that means we can deploy the same application in multiple servers. Okay, so we can group the servers as a cluster. So that topic is named as cluster. Cluster means we can group multiple application servers as a cluster, and we can deploy the application into the cluster. Then the cluster provides services. Okay, in the cluster, any server goes down while serving the services, another server take over the responsibility to handle the request. Okay, so the cluster having advantages: high availability. High availability means if the server goes down while serving the services, while retrieving the data, immediately another server take the responsibility to handle the request, because the same application is deployed in the all servers in the same cluster. Okay, so load balancing means it balance the load which are comes from the client. So for this load balancer we use some algorithms we will discuss in detail later. Okay, through cluster. So the cluster is not available in base and express editions because those are single servers. There is no multiple server architecture over there. Okay, and security through SSL. That means we are the persons to enable the security for the deployed applications. That means security means, I think you observe some applications having security SSL. See this my Gmail HTTPS. That means this is secure application. The Gmail account is the secure application because everyone has to use the Gmail with their credentials. So without have to avoid problems from the hackers. Okay, in that case, so we are the persons after deploying the application provide the security for the deployed applications. This is done by WebSphere administrators only. Okay, this feature is not available in base and express editions. Okay, and multi-user, we can create the multiple users and multiple application deployable. So that means there is no limit of uh, deploying the applications. We can deploy number of applications, thousands of applications we can deploy. Got it? Is it clear? Vinay, Krishna, is it clear?
Yeah, yes, Rambam. Actually,
Yes.
what do you mean by we can deploy thousands of applications like?
Thousands of application means one project contains many applications. Suppose you are supporting one project in the company. So the project contains a lot of applications, not only one. So all applications we can deploy. So there is no limit. Okay. And coming to WebSphere architecture, we have two types of architectures. First one is standalone. And the second one is network deployment. So in standalone architecture, we have single server, that means single application server, and network deployment, we have multiple servers. Okay, so now we will see the single standalone architecture and multiple architecture in the images for better understanding. This is a single WebSphere application server. Okay, so let's try to understand what are the components available under the server. Okay, so this is the entire server, application server. Okay, so in this we have different containers for different purposes. The first container is web container. So web container means, so it executes web applications. So as I told you, we have two types of applications, that is web applications and enterprise applications. Web application means it contains it does not having business code. There is no business logic in web applications, only for information. So those are all dynamic pages only, but there is no business logic. We cannot do business with that applications. So those type of applications we can deploy in the server. So once we deploy the web applications in the server, the web container take the responsibility to execute that code. Okay, so that web application contains servlet code and JSP. So these two are the Java codes available under web application. So the web container is used for to execute the web applications. Okay, and the second container is EJB container. So EJB container, it is for business applications, nothing but enterprise Java applications and enterprise applications. Once we deploy any enterprise application in the server, the EJB container will take care of that, and it will execute the code and provide services to the client. Okay, so like this, once we deploy any application, the container will split the code accordingly. So either web applications or enterprise application, it will split and it will execute the code internally. Okay, and the third container is web services engine. Web services engine means if you deploy web services. Web services are different. Web services means some features or adding to the existing application. Okay, so these web services are also we can deploy in the server. So those web services are executed under this container, web services container. And messaging engine, that means messaging applications. So this is the container for messaging applications. Okay, so these are all the four containers available in one server, one WebSphere application server, to deploy the application and to execute the application in the server. Okay, and coming down, these are all the features of application server. Dynamic cache. Dynamic cache. So cache means, first of all, what is the meaning of cache? Cache means it stores the user's information. Okay, it stores the user's information in some place. Okay, so users in why it is storing means, suppose the user is accessing the same application at a time, the same application every time. Suppose, take this is my Gmail. Okay, I am accessing this Gmail every time. Okay, without, suppose I just close this window and open again. So when I close this window, my information will be stored in cache memory of server. Okay, so when I try to access the same Gmail, okay, so it will not ask any username and password because my data is already there. So it maintains the some cache for the frequent request from the same server, same user. Okay, so that is nothing but cache memory. Okay, so it provides dynamic cache. Dynamic cache means, so it depends on request, it stores the information. Okay, and data replication means it's a replicate, that means copy. It maintain different copies of data in the server to provide services to the client. Okay, and name service, this is also a one feature, that means every server having a name and every object having name in the server. Okay, and JMX, Java management extensions. So this provides, if you make any changes in the server level, suppose if you deploy the application, suppose if you configure JDBC, or if you do some modifications in the server level, at the time JMX will be invoked. Okay, so JMX is very important. JMX having objects, so whenever you do any changes in the server level, the objects will be updated. So for that we use JMX. That JMX also deployed in server itself. And security, nothing but SSL. So after deploying the application, we have to provide security for that application, so that only the authorized users can access that application and log in and use that application. Okay, and other services also it provides. So this is single server architecture, standalone architecture. So this architecture is applicable to base version and express version. So these two versions, these two releases having the this architecture. Is it clear? Any doubts?
Rambabu, can you explain this architecture with examples?
Example means nothing but one application server. There is no example for that. This is nothing but WebSphere application server.
The services like, you said about dynamic cache and data replication. Dynamic cache is something that is storing the information about the user,
Yes,
and about the data replication, it is storing the copy of user's data.
yes, correct. Okay, so this is WebSphere application server. one server contains all the features like this. Okay, and coming to network deployment architecture. Okay, so this is network deployment. If you observe here in middle, we have standalone server. Okay, so this is standalone server. Okay, so and we already knows about the standalone server, and again here we have some features are added like browser. Browser means it is a GUI based browser where we used to do all operations. Okay, so once we start the server, application server, we can open this browser, nothing but administrative console. So using that console, we can do all operations. We can do all administrative tasks. Okay. So that browser, that browser is also a one application, web application. It is deployed in the server. Okay. And here, whenever the client requests for accessing any application, the request first comes to HTTP server. Okay, the any request, it will not go and connect the application server directly, because application server having more, I mean, application server is uh, having more applications, multiple applications are deployed in the same server. So if you connect the application, if the application is connecting directly to the application server, the server may get problem. Okay, the server goes down. So that's why here in front of application server we are using HTTP server. Okay, so the request first comes to HTTP server. HTTP server means web server, nothing but web server. Okay, so here web servers can handle HTTP requests. As I told you, web servers are the servers to handle HTTP and HTTP requests. So the request first comes to HTTP server. After that, the server identifies the request is static or dynamic. If it is static request, the HTTP server itself process and it will give the response from here. If it is dynamic page, then the request is forwarded to application server. Then the application server executes that application, nothing but web application or enterprise application, whatever. So it will execute the application and it provides it gives the response to the HTTP server again, and the HTTP server give response to the user. So this is the process. The request comes to HTTP server first, then application server, and response also same. Response also going to HTTP server first, then user. Okay, and this
So we
plugin,
need to deploy a separate HTTP server, or
yes, HTTP server is
it's
another
not a part of it, right?
it's not part of application server. It is separate
And we
software.
can
Yes,
deploy any HTTP server like Apache or
yeah,
anything.
correct. Apache, IBM HTTP server, Oracle HTTP server, Sun1, iPlanet, any web server we can use, but IBM HTTP server is compatible to WebSphere. Okay, so IBM HTTP server, IBM HTTP server is compatible to WebSphere. We will do that, and here IBM HTTP server is having Apache functionality only. Okay, so they purchased the Apache is free, freeware, that means free source. So they have renamed as IBM HTTP server. There is no difference of Apache and IBM HTTP server, both are same, but administration is little bit different for IHS. Okay, and after that, if we have any login pages, registration pages for that application, that information will be stored in database. So this is application data means database. Okay, so if you have any login pages for that application, the request comes to database server. Here database username and password will be authenticated in the database level. Okay, after authentication, the login page will be displayed to the end users. Okay, again after authentication, the response comes to application server. Again the application server gives the response to HTTP server. Again the HTTP server give response to the user. So this is the process. Okay, and here is the Java client. Java client nothing but EJB applications. So some of the EJB applications having Java clients, some of the Java clients we can access directly from the application server. Okay, and JMS client. So the JMS applications also we can access separately, and web services client. Okay, and below these are all the features. I mean these are all the services provided by the application server. JDBC, Java Database Connectivity. So to connect with the database, this is one API, application programming interface, which is used for, this is a concept which is used for to connect the database and fetch the data from databases. So using this JDBC only, the user able to log in the login pages. The request is going to DB server. Okay, and SOAP means simple object access protocol. SOAP, simple object access protocol. So this protocol is used for to connect the server, another server. So suppose I have here in multiple architecture we have different servers, and the different servers are connecting to each other using SOAP. Okay, and RMI, remote method invocation, IIOP. So these protocols are used in these two containers. Suppose I have deployed enterprise application in my server. Okay, so but enterprise applications we cannot access through HTTP requests. Okay, so but here user is trying to access the application through browser means HTTP request. Okay, so that HTTP request comes to HTTP server first, then it will come to web container. So the web container doesn't have EJB code. The enterprise application is not installed in not executed by web container. It is executed by EJB container. So the web container send a request to EJB container through RMI IIOP protocols. RMI means remote method invocation. IIOP means internet intro object request protocol. So using these two protocols, the web container sending the request to the EJB container for executing enterprise applications. Okay, and this is HTTP and HTTPS. These two are the protocols: normal request and secure request. Okay, so this is about ND, runtime WebSphere runtime architecture. Okay, is it clear, everyone?
Yeah, just one question, Rom.
Yeah.
So these protocols means are they standard like for every web sphere?
Yes.
All the applications should use these protocols. Okay.
Yes. Same protocols.
So they can't use a different ones like the.
No. No.
Can they replace the SOAP with any other one? Okay.
No. No. Only SOAP. Okay. These all protocols are standard. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. So architecture and basics is completed. Now installation of product. product installation. So in this we have a stepwise process. So we cannot go and install the WebSphere application server directly. Okay, so there is a process introduced. Okay, and before I mean in 7 version till 7 WebSphere 7 there is one process. After 7 I mean 8 8.5 we have different process. Okay, so till 7 what happens is we have different setup files for Linux missions and Windows missions. We have separate files, platform independent softwares available till 7 version, till 7 network deployment version. But in 8, so one software is introduced, that is IAM. Okay, IAM means IAM is a software used for install, uninstall, update, modify, rollback of all WebSphere products. Okay, so IAM is the software, it is the tool, so which is used for to install, uninstall, update, modify, rollback all WebSphere products. So we have different WebSphere products, not only WebSphere application server, we have portal server, WebSphere portal server, WebSphere process server, and WebSphere integration server, and WebSphere message broker, WebSphere message queues. So like this we have 6 products under WebSphere. So one of the product is WebSphere application server. Okay, so this IAM is the software for all products. Okay, it is introduced in version 8 ND. Okay, so after that once we install IAM, we can install the products, uninstall the products, update, modify and roll back any product. Okay, after that we have to install WebSphere application server product. So the binaries are same for all operating systems. Okay, platform, this is not platform dependent. WebSphere software is platform independent software for all operating systems from version 8 onwards. Okay, this is IAM is platform independent. Platform independent means different setup files for every operating system.
Is there any full form for IIM?
Yeah, I'll tell you. Platform independent, different setup files for every operating system, introduced from ND8, network deployment version 8. Okay, so IAM means IBM installation manager. Okay, first we have to install this IAM in our machine, either Windows or Linux. It is differs I mean different setup file for every operating system. Okay, So after that we have to install WebSphere application server product. Okay, so this is platform platform independent software. That means all operating systems can use the same set of files. Okay, all operating systems have same set of files. Okay, so this is introduced from version 8, version ND 8. Okay, so we will see these things in Linux mission. Okay, so let's go and install IAM first. Is it clear now? These two.
Yeah, VAS above 8 and 8 and 8.5, they are platform independent, while the other versions are not platform independent,
Yes, correct.
like base and express
Hmm.
version.
Yes, base and
Okay.
express and ND also. In ND also we have some releases 8 point sorry 6 point, this is 6, 6.1 and 7 till 7 platform dependent softwares. So different set of files for every operating system. So to
Okay.
overcome this problem, so from 8 onwards they introduced installation manager IAM, IBM installation manager they introduced. That software only platform dependent, varies from
Okay.
one operating system to another operating system. But WebSphere software is platform independent. We can use anywhere the same product files. Okay. So now I'm going to install IAM. So this is my Linux system. So you are able to see my screen, right? So
Yes.
this is the software install manager version 1.6.2, and the Linux it is compatible to VAS 8.5. Okay, so I'm going to install this one. Before going to install, remember one thing, this installation manager we can install from root user. Okay, we cannot install from normal user. So root user can only install. Okay, and once we install this installation manager in your machine, so we cannot install with the same user. Okay, we have to install from the root user, that is first point, and then with the same root user we cannot install second time. Okay, if you want to install the second time we have to use another user, that user having administrator privileges. So remember that. So go to installation manager, this is the software, and here the command is, before going to execute we have to check the file permissions, whether the file having execution permission or not. So this is the file install, and the permissions is this one. So user having read write execute permission, group also having read, write, and others also read, write. So I am the root user. So root user having here, user having read, write, execute permission. So no need to give permissions now. We can execute directly. For execution, use dot slash. Dot means current directory. Current directory means this directory. Okay. Slash means root directory. Root directory means root directory contains administrator privileges. So here I'm I'm executing this command in the current directory using root privileges. So I have given dot slash here. Anybody having knowledge on Linux?
Yes, this is Vinay. I worked as a Linux administrator.
Okay, cool then. So you know this command, I think, execution of files, right?
Yep.
So click on install. It will open a graphical window.
And why the file size is 0 for that?
That's what I'm checking. Actually, this is not executing also. I think software some corrupted, it seems. Some files are missing. Let me copy
Okay.
again. Wait for 2-3 minutes. I will copy. It is not copied properly, it seems. Let me copy again. The software Vasu will help you. He will share the software details. I mean, softwares in Google Drive. You can download and use it.
Also, can we have the course details, like what topics we will be discussing as part of this course?
Okay, I'll tell you. We already discussed in demo class. Anyway, I will tell you once again. Okay.
Okay.
Now the file copied successfully. Execute this dot slash install command. So it will open a browser. I mean a graphical applet, graphical window. So in this window we can install. Suppose if you are using this is my standalone Linux machine, so I am able to see GUI, but in real time they'll not give you the direct mission. the Linux servers are located in data centers. We have to connect the Linux machines to through PuTTY. PuTTY is a third-party tool, so we used to connect the Linux servers using PuTTY. So in PuTTY we cannot see the GUI. So at the time we have to use another Windows client VNC Weaver. VNC Weaver. So install VNC Weaver in your laptop or desktop local machine and connect the Linux servers through that VNC Weaver so that you can see GUI mode there.
And what about if the remote machine is only configured with the command line, like if the remote machine, Linux machine doesn't have the graphical interface, how can we configure this?
Linux machine, direct Linux machine having graphical, but we have to go to data centers. Data center means where the physical server is available. If you go to that data center, you can start the Linux machine like this. You can see the Linux machines like this. So there, that those are direct missions, right? So you can obviously you can see the GUI. If you are in remote only, you cannot see GUI. We have to connect through PuTTY. PuTTY is the software, third-party tool. Okay.
I know, but
Uh,
it's not that case all the time. Like most of the time, the Linux machines, they don't deploy in the graphical, means the GNOME, the GNOME desktop, it is not deployed. So all we have will be the just the command line.
hmm.
So is there a different way to install using just the command line?
Install VNC Weaver. Install VNC Weaver is the third-party tool. Anyway, WebSphere administrator never goes to data center. They'll do from their office only. So they'll use VNC Weaver software for getting the GUI. So they'll open the command line servers in GUI. They'll do the installation. Otherwise, we have another mode of installation, silent. So silent installation is a one text file. Okay, so along with along with product, so the IBM people will give you one text file. So you have to modify the text file according to our requirement. So what are, I mean, where we need to install path, okay, and specify the license agreement to true, like that. So that file, if you purchase the WebSphere product from IBM, they will give you. So here we are using trial versions. For trial versions, they will not give the silent mode installation text file. Okay, so we can use the text file if you are using command line tool.
Okay.
Um, so we are going with installation. The version is 1.6.2. Click on next. Accept the license agreement. Click on next. This is the path. The server is the installation manager is going to be installed. The path is /opt IBM installation manager Eclipse. So in this path the software is going to be installed. Click on next. If you want to change, you can change, but this is the default path. And click on install. It is taking 245 MB in the disk space. Okay, this is the space it is taking, and then click on install. It takes max 5 minutes to install.
And is there any operating system requirements like minimum version of Red
Yeah,
Hat 6?
minimum 4 GB RAM require, 4 GB, hard disk 40 GB, and processors are i3, i5, i7 for Windows machines, for Linux power systems. Okay.
I'm just asking about the Linux, like Linux operating system.
Linux, it is
Red
compatible.
Hat 5, Red Hat
uh,
6, or
6,
is
it
there
is
any requirement?
compatible to 6, 8.5. 8.5 is 64-bit architecture. It is compatible to Red Hat 6 version. I'm using 6.4.
Okay.
Only 64-bit operating system, so it will be compatible. 32 it will not install.
Okay.
Installation is completed. Okay. Here, if we after that, click on Restart Installation Manager. So it will open a graphical window. So in that window we can do all the tasks: installation, uninstall, modify, upgrade, and rollback. This is the window. Here, install button for install the software packages. Any package, any product from WebSphere, we can install and update, modify, rollback, and uninstall. Okay. Suppose this window I am able to open along after installation. Suppose suppose IAM is already installed in mission. Someone is installed. Okay. At the time, how to open this window? Because we are starting from the scratch, so we know how to open this window after installation. But if the installation is already exist, if you want to install products, so how to do? So go to the installation path, OPT, IBM Installation Manager, Eclipse. So this path we have installed the product, and here /launcher. If click on this, it will open the same window. What I am saying is, if the installation manager already installed in our mission, open this window using this command, launcher /.
So can any other users also open this one, or is it limited to root? Or
Only
will
root user,
provide the permission?
only root user can do that. For other users, even we cannot install. If the other user should have admin privileges so that he can able to install this software.
Um, Not about the installation, at least to open the launcher.
Only admin root user can do this. Okay. So this is about IBM installation manager. Okay. And tomorrow we will do the product installation. It takes around 20 to 25 minutes for installation. So we will do that tomorrow. Okay. Is it clear? Anyone having any doubts?
Yeah, just one question.
Hmm.
Like in real time, no one will have the root access, right? Like most of them